I gotta ask you if you recognize this. Let's play it again.
Play it again.
So this is what Robin does to me. He starts talking about Crockett and Tubbs. I got to go get the Crockett theme. But how many people recognize song two? I had to mix it up to keep it from getting copyrighted. Maybe it will anyway. You recognize it?
I It sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
It was a song featured in one of the Miami Vice episodes. I think they were a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, that was it was funny. One hit wonders were a common thing back in the '80s, man.
Yeah, they were. We needed parody, or we had parody.
For real.
What's going on, Sports and Fitness Rants? It's AOA Sports and Fitness Rants, Crockett and Tubbs. And I am on the road. He is on vacation, and we're bringing it to you anyway because you asked for it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, AOH, as usual, man. Once again, it's great to be back with another Sunday Live at the normal time. Like my man AOH said, we wanted to bring it to you guys at normal time this Sunday. So once again, man, I'm glad to be here with my man Nazar, the video footage. Shout out to everybody that's already coming in the chat. I see Renee in there. I see Damian Chase, 1738, Zizza Plays, Classic Basketball DVDs, man. We're going to have another great show for you guys. Like I always tell you guys, you never know where we're going to go, what we're going to talk about. There's a Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. We got Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. We got my man Crockett and Tubbs out here. Whatever you want to call us, Salt and Pepper, Ebony and Ivory, Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney. Whatever you want to do, we're going to bring it to you guys, man. Don't matter if we're traveling. Don't matter if we're on vacation. You guys know the deal, man. Let's.
So I see in the chat news that I saw yesterday, while the Warriors got everything they needed in Jimmy Butler, the Lakers are continuing to add to their roster. What do you think of the Marcus Smart addition? We all know that fanboys are going to say he's washed up, but reality is he's still an excellent defender, excellent player. How's he going to do with LeBron James?
Yeah, see, this is another great point here. Someone mentioned this in the chat that Zizza Plays. Shout out to you for mentioning Marcus Smart just signing with the Lakers. And this is more the same. Every offseason that LeBron James' team has, they always have to sign these random guys. There's another random signing to me. And Marcus Smart's a quality basketball player, no doubt. He hasn't made an all-defensive team in a couple of seasons now, ever since he won the Play of the Year award a couple of years ago. But, what this has come down to is like we're always talking about, is LeBron James going to maximize some of these players? And to me, maximizing your teammates doesn't necessarily have anything to do with, how long LeBron James has been playing. Oh, he's 40 years old. What do you guys want from him? Well, once again, LeBron James should be taking a back seat to someone like Luka Doncic. And what's LeBron James going to do with Marcus Smart? What's he going to do with DeAndre Ayton? What's he going to do with Rui Hachimura? What's he going to do with Austin? What's he going to do with Don Connect? All these guys that are on the team, what is he going to do with these guys?
Ricky Bobby and Cal Norton. That's a combo.
Tango and Cash, one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, legit one of my favorite movies, Tango and Cash.
It introduced us to Terry Hatcher. That was a good thing about it.
Absolutely. Great movie, man. I love that movie, man. I watch it religiously. It's just one of those great. Said the on-screen chemistry with Mel Gibson and Kurt Russell, fantastic.
Was it actually good? I
love that movie.
Okay, it didn't do well though, did it?
You know what's funny? I feel like a lot of times in the '80s movies, they didn't go big in the box office, but a lot of us who grew up watching these movies, we really appreciate what those movies, for what they were. We're talking about about someone like Sylvester Stallone, once again, here we go. We're talking about random stuff. We talking about someone like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, the two main action stars of the 80s that we remember. Are these guys going to win Oscars? Maybe not necessarily, even though Sylvester Stallone is a very intelligent person, a very creative person, very talented person, Sylvester Stallone. Let's not forget, he was the one that wrote Rocky. So he also wrote Rambo. So when we talk about a lot of these things that Sylvester Stallone has done, you're not necessarily going to remember them for being worthy actors. But for what they did, the time that they did, the action stars that they were fantastic, man.
Run DMC and Aerosmith.
I like it. Run DMC and the Beastie Boys. To me, when we think about the Marcus Smart thing, to me, I feel like Marcus Smart has come to the end of his career or towards the end of his career. So this is a kind of an instance like we talked about. Is LeBron James going to revitalize someone like Marcus Smart and start to, lift him up now from where he was the last couple of seasons? When Michael Jordan played for the Wizards at 40 years old, I remember Rip Hamilton talking about what he learned from Michael Jordan at that time. Now, I'm not comparing Rip Hamilton to Marcus Smart, but what I'm saying is the impact that Michael Jordan still had on players at that age. It wasn't necessarily Air Jordan, but Michael Jordan's work, the things that he did in practice, his day-to-day, something that Rip Hamilton appreciated and learned from.
All right, so bottom line, Marcus Smart, good pickup or not? We got mixed reviews. We got mixed reviews in the comments.
Yeah, listen, I don't know if it's going to... Once again, is he going to be their main defensive guy? I don't know what they're going to be using Marcus Smart for. Is he going to be their starting shooting guard or the starting point guard? I just don't know what they're going to do with Marcus Smart, how they're going to utilize him. If they're going to use him off the bench, I guess it really depends on how they're going to try to utilize Marcus Smart.
Oh, they're going to scapegoat him. That's what. He's got value.
But he doesn't make them a contender. The same thing you talked about with DeAndre Ayton. He's not making them contenders all of a sudden. I mean, listen, they lost 4 games to 1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they barely won that one game, man. But we also talked about moments during that series where LeBron James wasn't doing a damn thing out there, man. Nothing.
Yep. Yeah, as long as you keep giving LeBron James the ball in the fourth period, you fucked.
And for real, if he's going to keep taking 20 shots a game, then yes, that's not going to help. I saw a post online this morning, and it said something about LeBron James has been trying to give up the lead role to these other guys like Anthony Davis. He's been trying to give up the role to Anthony Davis and to Luka Doncic. What the hell y'all talking about? How are you out there taking 20 shots a game? He was taking more shots than Anthony Davis every single season he played with Anthony Davis. So how was he trying to take a backseat to Anthony Davis? And we saw Luka Doncic literally have to change and adjust himself to play with LeBron James, not the other way around.
You remember the winning streak toward the end of the season for the Lakers? And I did a video showing that with LeBron James as a third, even fourth scorer on the team, it led to wins. But I came to find out he didn't stop shooting. Austin Reeves was scoring more than him just because he was more efficient. LeBron was still chucking shit up. They just managed to win every now and then. I guess thanks to the fat, out-of-shape guy that's magically terrible as soon as he joins the Lakers.
Yep. Exactly. Insane.
What was the poll? I think you actually chose Quentin Post, but I want a reminder if the tough question as far as DeAndre Ayton's value. Would you take DeAndre Ayton if you're trying to win this year or Quentin Post? Just this year.
Yeah, I probably have to go with DeAndre Ayton. But the reason why I said Quentin Post when we did that poll originally is because someone like DeAndre Ayton, to me, like I said, he's frail. He's come across as a guy that's injury prone now. I see a lot of people in the comments talking about Marcus Smart, and he hasn't really played that much over the last seasons. And that's part of the things that I was talking about. Hasn't been an all-defensive team. He hasn't really been an impactful player like that over the last 2 seasons or so. So I really don't know why the Lakers are getting someone like Marcus Smart who can't even stay on the court. And same thing with DeAndre Ayton. What has he done that would make you believe that all of a sudden he's going to be the savior down low at center? Because the funny thing is they're saying that they need a big man, but they got rid of Anthony Davis. It just doesn't make any sense, some of this stuff. LeBron James always needs something, but then he gets something, but then he needs something else. I don't know.
As David Knowles said, LeBron was the third option, almost fourth in the last 20 games before the playoffs. And how did they do? Quite well. Oh, Cleveland. This is our old school guy. More old school than me, huh? I would be happy for you. Hey, Cleveland, can you email me? angryoldhoops@gmail.com. That would be awesome. I'm not trying to have these crazy racist LeBron children mess up our show. But I'll throw the link up. Let's see what happens.
Hey, shout out to everybody that's coming through. I see you guys in the chat. Andrew Music, DC, Callie Young, Mike Larry, Birdman 423, CC Motion, Mr. J2. Shout out to all you guys, man. Like I said, Brandon Ethereal, Hakeem Olajuwon. I see you guys, man. Thanks for coming through.
If LeBron is the primary player in LA, it won't matter who he plays with. He is the common denominator for losing. Thank you, Real Siberius. Well said.
Yeah, that's a great point because that's the truth. You know, we talked about LeBron James' play style not being conducive for team chemistry, for cohesion, for maximizing these guys. You know, I was saying it all year last year. I said, LeBron, I thought JJ Redick, if he's that smart, JJ Redick should have figured out, listen, I have to play LeBron James less. LeBron James playing 35 minutes a night last year. That's ridiculous. So he's playing 35 minutes a night. He probably should have been playing 25 minutes a night. And like I said, he should have been taking a lot less shots than he was taking. He should have been taking around, 13, 14 shots a night. Instead, he's taking 19, 20 shots a night.
He should just provide a defensive presence.
Exactly. Defense and leadership. When you think about someone like Will Chamberlain,
either one, man.
About him adjusting his game, he became focused on rebounding and defense, Will Chamberlain, to help his teammates around him. He changed his game. LeBron James should be doing the same thing like you just said.
I am going to he left. Cleveland, I saw you in there. Come on in.
Yeah, I saw him in the backstage.
Yeah, he was backstage. I don't see him there anymore.
You know what's funny, though? With someone like DeAndre Ayton, he's the guy where, we talked about, other players maximizing someone. And he's the kind of guy that I think, if he played with someone like Michael Jordan or some of these other great players that had leadership, that understood how to galvanize their teammates, he would benefit immensely from playing with someone like Michael Jordan.
I think Cleveland's having some connection issues. Just tried to add him again, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a little old school rant today. Cleveland was an old school LA guy, right? Or was he a Cleveland guy?
Back.
There he is.
Cleveland, you hear us?
Cleveland, you're making me look young with technology. Hello, sir.
Uh-oh. No
You're
volume.
You're here.
No volume. Hold on.
We hear you.
Come back in. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Gotcha. Hold on.
All right.
Yo, shout out to all you guys. CGP. I see you. Hayden Phoenix. I see you said LeBron James allergic to defense. Absolutely. What's amazing to me is how someone like LeBron James all these years in the NBA hasn't understood or figured out that hustle, effort really helps you to win ball games. And hustle and effort is contagious.
Oh, snap. I can't even hear you guys.
We hear you.
Let's see. Can't even hear you guys. Hold on.
Do you have your computer muted?
Uh-oh. Forgot. Let me see.
Yo, shout out to my man Heath Over Ledger. Cody Bill.
What y'all laughing at me and shit, probably.
Cleveland.
I can't even get in, man. I'm gonna have to come in and come out, man. I'm gonna come in and come out.
We hear you.
Okay, I don't know what's happening when he says
Anyways, don't be goofing the live stream up. We just started, man, and you're goofing it up, man. Shout out to Daryl Sloan. What's up, man? Bless her mind. What's going on with you guys? I see you guys coming through, man. Praise the Don. What's going on, baby?
Oh, all right. Go ahead and read Praise the Dawn.
Yeah, shout out to Praise the Don again, man. As soon as LeBron joined my Lakers, I stopped rooting for them. I didn't care about the fake-ass bubble ring either. LeBron bought over his fairy fans, and they've hijacked the Lakers ever since. Absolutely. Shout out to Praise the Don, who's speaking the same things that I hear from a lot of the true Laker fans that come to my channel, that are in my comment section. You guys are saying a lot of the similar things. You don't respect LeBron James. You didn't want him on your franchise, and now his fans have hijacked the LA Laker fan base. These are the same fools that are gonna pump him up for getting a statue outside of LA. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel for Laker fans, but you know what? I suffer through it a little bit. We don't have. I'm going to say we don't have any or very many old school Warrior fans left up here.
Yeah.
We got people that would allow LeBron James to come onto the team.
For real.
Apparently. Cleveland, I'm giving you one more try. Otherwise, I'm going to send you to technology school and you can come back. Cleveland, you're here.
Let me see how much.
He got to link up a Steam.
Come on, bro.
Oh boy, LeBron James. Oh my gosh.
Cleveland.
4, 5, 8, 3, 4.
What?
We're grilling this. Let me see. This one right here.
Just start going. We can hear you. Just talk.
Okay.
Yo, we'll bring him back later. Yo, Cleveland, we'll bring you back, man, because you're messing up our rhythm right now, man. We too early into the live to have this kind of herky-jerky, this hesitation going on right now. My man's out here acting like LeBron James on defense, man. You don't know what's going to happen.
Cleveland, right now you're the LeBron James of technology.
You know what's funny? AOH, you talked about my man Praise the Don was talking about the Laker fans, and you were talking about the Warriors fans, and being a true fan of a team or a franchise, and you respect the history of that franchise. How many times have we seen these LeBron James? Remember, they're LeBron James fans. They're not Laker fans, guys. How many times have we seen these people tear down the great Lakers, the great legends, like Kobe Bryant, man? They're always disrespecting Kobe Bryant. They love to tear down. If you were a real Laker fan, then you're not going to crap on someone like Kobe Bryant, who did a lot for organization, who did a lot for those fans, man. He showed up to work and gave the effort for those people.
I need another 80s fix. Bilf says James Dolan banned Oakley from Madison Square because LeBron fans thought he was triggering. Oakley's back, right? He's unbanned.
Yeah, I believe so. That was an embarrassing time for the New York Knicks franchise. I mean, let's be real. James Dolan, the New York fans don't respect that clown. They're killing me right now, LH.
Cleveland, are you ready to try? I see you backstage, but I muted you.
Oh, Cleveland, man. Cleveland. What are you doing, Cleveland?
You know, you did quite well previously, Cleveland.
Say we could hear him, but I guess he can't hear us, he's saying. We should just let's type something to him and just come on and just start talking.
Yeah, just come on and start talking.
Yo, shout out to Shay J, Coco Hope, TG. Thank you guys for coming through as always, man.
All right. You would think that I would be done with this by now, but every time I hear another content creator play the clip of Kevin Durant, I get violent tendencies. I want everyone, anytime in any city that Kevin Durant shows up, you let him know what you think of him. These dudes should not get away with this stuff. My God, it was about as disgusting as anything. And that's a long list of disgusting shit when it comes to LeBron James and his podcasts. But, you know, the very first time I heard it, you and I already talked about this. And I said the obvious stuff like, you know what? you should retire on top, not drag it out for 20 years while everyone makes excuses for how shitty you are and you rob the franchise blind, which really means that you're robbing the fans blind. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have money unless the fans are paying, right?
Yep.
So Kevin Durant and LeBron James are robbing people, and they're proud of it. They're giving 50% for a longer period of time. But here's the other thing. LeBron James has said that he has nothing left to prove, that his legacy is solid. He said it's just a game. You know, at the end of the day, it's basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball. Retire then, you stupid son of a bitch. There's no honor in these 20 plus year careers when you're there saying this shit and pretending that rings don't matter
Yep.
in the meantime. Like, what exactly are he and Kevin Durant proud of in dragging on a long career in which they're embarrassing themselves? Oh, the goal is to rob the fans blind for as long as possible. You go to another sport and show the world that you have the balls to try something difficult and stare down a major league pitch, because that's got to be the scariest part of baseball.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. I mean, it's crazy when we talk about, like you just mentioned, Anwakes. One of the things that bothered me about that guy, Jimmy High Roller, I did that video like a year ago. I think that was when I called him out. And obviously he's a really big YouTuber. But really what set me off and triggered me and really, let me know that this guy's a straight clown, not only when he started talking about we done with the 90s, but Jimmy High Roller talked about in one of his videos, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and he compared them to candles burning. And what he was saying was, are we LeBron James, or excuse me, what's greater? A candle that burns not as bright, but twice as long, or a candle that burned brighter for a half as short? And I don't understand that analogy because to me, if we're comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James to a candle burning, man, Michael Jordan is like a freaking fire, a bonfire burning compared to LeBron James. So this idea that LeBron James's candle is just a little bit not as bright as Michael Jordan's, but twice as longer is complete BS, man. It doesn't make any sense, man. It just doesn't add up when you watch the careers. Michael Jordan condensed so much into 11 full seasons of the Chicago Bulls. And LeBron James, like you just mentioned, has continued to play all these years, but yet he's not giving the maximum effort all of these years. So you're nowhere near reaching the heights, the brightness of Michael Jordan.
McZuggins, good to see you here. I know you wanted to call in at the last show. We'll try and get you in today. Viewership down 70%. Very few any team fans left. Yeah, there you go. Be proud of that, Kevin Durant. Be proud of that.
Yeah, that's a great point. McZuggins are a true supporter of us, always coming through. And that's the facts, man. These guys want to claim that they're just as great as some of these other great players that played in previous eras. But you can't point to a single thing that Kevin Durant or LeBron James did for the NBA. And remember, Kevin Durant and LeBron James, they're being promoted, or they were being promoted as the greatest players. Steph Curry was always seen as an afterthought based off of the skills and the size of Steph Curry. So people knock Steph Curry because he wasn't as tall as Kevin Durant. People knock Steph Curry because he wasn't as big as LeBron James. But when you look at the careers and you look at reality, what I'm seeing is Steph Curry is the greatest player of his era. And what Steph Curry did for the game, like I said, was much greater than what LeBron James or Kevin Durant did for the game. What Steph Curry did alone last year in the Olympics, to me, like I said, is by far and away greater than what Kevin Durant or LeBron James have done. Look what he did for the Olympic team. What did LeBron James do for the Olympic team? He gave us bronze medals. We had to have Kobe Bryant come and save the Olympic team because of LeBron James.
Remember, everyone, we don't say that LeBron is 4-6. LeBron does not have 4 titles. Bullshit in LA, that invitational shoot around that a lot of people refuse the invitation to, is not a fucking championship. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Right, it's absolutely.
Hey guys, we have Jim coming on at 9:30. 30, just so people know what's going on. Who's AR-23? I hate when the screen name is different than the sports channel. But oh god.
Oh, shout out to my man AR-23, my man Armando Ruiz, man. He's always coming through supporting us.
Oh, is that what that is? All right.
Yeah.
What's up, Armando?
Hey, fellas, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Fantastic. Sorry I don't have the camera. I'm actually driving. But just
So
wanted to give you
don't
guys a
want us
shout
to
out.
see?
I totally appreciate you guys for this, man. It's actually pretty amazing. But the reason I wanted to call, with the inevitable, retirement of LeBron James, it got me thinking about Kobe's last game when he had he dropped 60 points, right? So I cannot wait because I'm going to clear my calendar out for LeBron's last game because he's going to attempt to hit them 60 points. And it's going to be the ugliest performance you will ever see because it has absolutely no skills at all. And I cannot wait to see air balls and breaks and a 20% a field goal percentage being shot on live TV with all of his fanboys watching a farewell. That's going to be a complete a tragedy for him. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
There's not really a limit to what these people will accept, though. I mean, that game that he lost when he broke Kareem's record was ugly as shit too. And that didn't seem to affect that fan base.
And it's funny, shout out to my man AR-23 for coming through, man. Thanks a lot for stopping by. And when we think about when LeBron James broke Kareem's record, if you guys remember, leading up to Kareem's record, LeBron James was shot jacking all over the place. This dude was taking like 23, 24, 25 shots a game. I mean, just chucking up threes all over the place. Remember, and he was sacrificing just so he could put his points up and get that record. No one respected the way that he went after this because it didn't come in the course of playing the games the right way. He was chasing the stats, literally. When Armando's talking about, him possibly trying to chase what Kobe did that last game, it's not going to be organic. LeBron James is not original. He's not creative. There's nothing that he does on the basketball court that you look at and you're like, damn, this guy's inspiring the people out there. I just don't get that sense from him. He'll sacrifice winning and everything else just for his stats.
I'm adding some moderators right now.
Yeah, shout out to everybody coming through, man. You guys are coming through deep, man. It really means a lot for you guys to continue to support us, man. LeBron James out there, stat. Remember, he was trying to become the oldest scoring champ in NBA's history. You guys remember that season where he was chucking all those shots up? LeBron James played like 50-something games that year, and he was trying to chase his bogus scoring title because remember, Michael Jordan still is the oldest scoring champ in NBA's history. So once again, LeBron James lacking creativity, lacking originality, but also forgetting and not realizing Michael Jordan wasn't out there putting up stats when he was later in his career. Michael Jordan won a scoring championship at 35 years old while winning. And while winning a championship, he's just out there just shot jacking, taking away from everyone else.
Oh man, I got a personal story to share.
Let's do it.
Man, basketball has devolved. I played yesterday. Well, I should say I almost played. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I was on the side waiting to pick up my team, and I'm watching. Everybody's got their own LeBron James now, don't they? But this dude shamelessly was chucking up threes, missing badly, not getting back on defense, getting scored on. I mean, throughout the whole game, comes my turn to come up on the court, and guess what? Bunch of the guys from the winning team left, so me and my team pick up one. Sure enough, who the fuck from the losing team is gonna come hop on ours? But that dude. And I bitched out. I was like, "Hey, I have to go. I'm sorry. I am not suffering through that shit."
Oh,
I'm
that's a
not.
great story.
But man, I got, basketball does not look very good. It's not fun to watch anymore. People don't look very good.
Yo, you're making some good points here, Airways, because I tell you guys all the time, I play basketball regularly in the street, guys. I'm talking about, I probably play street ball maybe 2-3 times a week sometimes, man, depending on what I got going on in my daily life. But I'm always out there. Sometimes it's 3-on-3, sometimes it's 5-on-5. I prefer 5-on-5. I've always told people that. I'm a full court guy. I like to run around. I like to utilize my speed and my quickness on the basketball court. But basketball a couple of weeks ago before vacation, and a similar thing was happening to me. I was playing 3-on-3 with these two other guys that were like 15 years younger than me. And these guys were literally standing on the three-point line. So they kept passing me the ball because I was the only guy that was trying to penetrate and dish. So at one point, I said to the guys, man, this one dude shot like 10 shots in a row and didn't make a shot. So I said to him, I said, yo, my man, listen. I was like, why don't you cut to the rim? I'm going to break your man down off the dribble. I'm going to take this guy to the hole, man. He can't guard you. But these guys don't that. They play lazy basketball. Shout out to my man, Jim.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Welcome to the show, sir.
Great.
All right, good.
And Jim keeps cranking out more stat videos, and he's got a fresh one for us, which I thought was a pretty interesting topic, since I've heard things throughout LeBron's career that since he's not, the best at any specific thing, he's been called the best overall player. And Jim's going to debunk even that, which leaves LeBron James absolutely naked. Take it, Jim.
All right, well, you know how everybody loves stats, right? That's the new thing. Championships are almost secondary, or, it's just something they feel like they have to throw in there, whatever. But just using stats, using the stat categories. When you look at points per game, rebounds per game, assists, steals, blocks, free throw percentage, and three-point percentage, LeBron is not close to being the best at all that stuff. There's just too many other players that are better, well-rounded players. And the mistake people make is they try to take the stats from one person's era, compare them to another era. No. How did he do in his era against his contemporaries, against the peers of that era? That tells you more, because things change. Pace of the game changes. The amount of shots you might take, everything changes. But when you look at players, Nikola Jokic, even Kevin Durant, we're better at all this stuff at one time or another. LeBron James was first in points and assists. We know that. He was third in steals, I think in his second or third season. But beyond that, all this rebounding we talk about, he never cracked the top 15. He was 15th, tied for 15th, was the best he ever did. In blocks, he was tied for 39th. Free throw percentage, 68th. In three-point percentage, we all hear about how much better he's got. Well, he's never cracked the top 25. He's tied for 27th, was the best he ever did. You compare that to a player like Dr. J. He was top 25 in everything at one time or another. Now, they didn't track three-point percentage. That's one thing you can say. Larry Bird is top 13 in everything except for block shots at one time or another. I think he was 42nd in that one. Magic Johnson. Magic was 10th in points, 12th in rebounds, first in assists, first in steals, first in free throws. He was 56th in blocks, which you can understand, and 18th in three-point percentage. How's LeBron touching that? Jordan, forget it. Jordan's first in points, tied for 15th in rebounds, first in, tied for 10th in assists, first in steals, tied for 17th in blocks, 16th in free throws, and tied for 10th in three-point percentage. Are you kidding me? He's better than Michael Jordan, well-rounded player. Where's the proof of that? Even Kevin Durant, who ran concurrently to him his whole era. Durant was first in points, 14th in rebounds, tied for 20th in assists, tied for 30th in steals, tied for 17th in blocks, first in free throws, and tied for 6th in three-point percentage. So he was top 30 in everything. LeBron James has a 68th and a tied for 39th in there. I mean, what are we talking about? Sorry, but
LeBron James,
the proof is not there.
LeBron James can't be compared to other players, much less Michael Jordan, is what I hear you saying.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Nikola Jokic this year did a lot for Jokic as far as that kind of stuff goes. His Steals, he actually finished second this year. Blocks, he's never cracked the top 30. And free throw percentage, 26th, and then 18th in three-point percentage. Course of his career, third in points, third in rebounds, second in assists, second in steals. So Nikola Jokic is top 3 in 4 of the 7 categories. But like I said, LeBron James is only top 15 in 3 of them. He's only top 25 in 4 of them. It's just, come on, man. Just knock it off, all right? We all, if you want to go by the eye test, I don't care what you go by, but there's no base to start an argument for LeBron James as the best player who ever lived. Where do you longevity? That's just not enough.
Yo, man, Jim, man, as always, Jim comes through, man, and he just machine guns down LeBron James' career and puts a bunch of holes in the resume that we all know is only a paper resume. And when you're talking about some of the things you talked about, Jim, and some of the plays that you mentioned, and I'm a big Dr. J guy. A lot of people know I have Dr. J in my top 10. You know, Dr. J, according to the Bleacher Report, is number 20 all time, which I don't understand in my life how that works. And Dr. J was a very well-rounded basketball player, man. I've told people before that Dr. J might be the best shot-blocking small forward in the history of the game, man. The dude was a legit shot blocker at that position, at the size that he was. All right, he wasn't as big as LeBron James. Dr. J is 6'7". LeBron James damn near 6'10", man. He didn't have the size of LeBron James. LeBron James 260 damn pounds. But Dr. J, to me, was a more smoother guy on the court. He moved better on the court than LeBron James. Dr. J move. It's much more fluid. Dr. J to me was a greater finisher above or below the rim than LeBron James. I mean, when you're watching Dr. J having to finish against guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and some of these other great big men that were down low, LeBron James don't have to worry about that. When you talked about the scoring of LeBron James and how he's not one of the elite scorers, LeBron James has been a consistent scorer, but he's not an elite, well-rounded offensive guy. When you talk about someone like Karl Malone, for example, Karl was a very consistent scorer throughout the 90s. You look at Karl Malone, the dude was just constant, man. Constantly scoring the basketball a certain amount of points every single season. But he was never as well-rounded as Michael Jordan. That's why he didn't win the scoring titles that Michael Jordan was winning. When you think about someone like Hakeem Olajuwon, to me, Hakeem Olajuwon had a better overall well-rounded game scoring the ball than Karl Malone. To me, he had better moves in the paint around the rim than Karl Malone. It's not to take away from Karl Malone, because Karl Malone's greatness, his consistency. But when they try to promote LeBron James as the greatest scorer of all time, no one's making that claim for Karl Malone. Does anyone think that Karl Malone's the greatest scorer of all time? No one will say that. No. Even though he had way more points than Michael Jordan when he retired, even though the man was always constantly in the top 5, top 3 in scoring almost every single year in the 90s. Remember, Russell Westbrook has more scoring titles in the same era than LeBron James does. Does anyone think that Russell Westbrook is this hellified scorer? Was he a greater scorer than Oscar Robertson was? But how come Oscar Robertson didn't get any scoring titles? Oh, because he played in the era with freaking Will Chamberlain. That's why. So we have to remember these things. The rebound you brought up, Jim. LeBron James is a poor rebounder. He's mediocre at best rebounding the basketball, guys. Look at his offensive rebounding numbers. They're terrible, man. LeBron James can't rebound like Bird. He can't rebound like Elgin Baylor. He can't rebound like Dr. J. I don't even think that LeBron James is a better rebounder than Scottie Pippen was.
Hey, Jim, did you, since Robin mentioned Karl Malone in there, did you hear the Friday where that commenter pointed out that if Jerry Krause had drafted differently, it could have been Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, and Karl Malone?
That's ridiculous. Yeah, that would be insane. And even that wouldn't have been a super team because it would have been off the draft, you know. These are the types, and that's the thing about that stupid Bleacher Report. It told me two things. Number one, they disregarded how you formed your teams. Didn't matter if you wanted to go and, I mean, because Kevin Durant, they're going to bring up his Finals MVPs. Oh, no, none of that would have happened if he didn't go run into the Warriors. And the other thing was, it was all about LeBron James. You could tell by his competition that was all set. Everybody was overinflated. Anybody who played against LeBron, anybody who played against Jordan got undervalued. Scottie Pippen overvalued. You see what they were doing. It was so obvious, so blatant. Like, come on, man. Dirk Nowitzki better than Dr. J. Just stop it. Anybody who thinks that needs to get off of basketball media immediately. You have no credibility. You're a joke. Dirk Nowitzki beat LeBron James. Okay, what else you got? He won one MVP. He also blew a 2-0 lead in the finals. And the biggest upset in the history of the NBA was his '07 Mavericks and beat by the Warriors. A 67-win team get beat by a 42-win team. Let's not forget about that nugget. These people have no credibility. It's so obvious what they were doing. Keem Olajuwon and Kobe out of your top 10. A joke right there. You have no credibility. Shot.
I'm Jason Terry must have made the list then if we're gonna praise people to beat LeBron James.
Exactly. Joke, man.
No, you're right, Jim. I talked about the list, and I talked about Dirk Nowitzki above Dr. J. I couldn't understand, what they were trying to do there. And that's no disrespect to Dirk Nowitzki, man, but he's not greater than Dr. J. He just wasn't, guys. And once again, we're trying to educate the people out there. The Bleacher Report's not giving you education. They're using emotions, and like you said, Jim, they're trying to finagle the history of the league by making it seem like what we're watching over the last 10 years or so is the greatest era of all time, and the guys previous were not that good. I mean, it's insane that they have LeBron James ranked above some of these guys. They didn't even have Hakeem Olajuwon in the top 10, which was baffling to me. They had Kevin Durant ranked 13th. Kevin Durant above Dr. J? That's insane, man. Dr. J would destroy Kevin Durant on the basketball court, guys. I'm telling you right now.
How many spots did Steve Nash buy for himself up that list by being LeBron James's suck up? We talk about LeBron James doing favors. It's not all an obvious thing like getting a job or a contract, but I saw that Steve Nash was above some people he shouldn't have been above.
Yo, shout out to my man Down Sports. Yo, Mel, what's good, man? I see him in the comment section. He got a great channel. If you guys don't know Man Down Sports, man, you should go check his stuff out, man. These guys do great work, man. They always got a great panel. Shout out to him and his people over there. Sports T as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they had Nash. Listen, man, I like Steve Nash. I think Steve Nash was a great basketball player, and I've defended Steve Nash against the shade that's been thrown at him about his 2 MVPs that people say that he didn't deserve or he didn't earn these MVPs and he's robbing Shaq and he robbed Kobe. And I've always stood up for Steve Nash, and I've said Steve Nash is a legit point guard, man. One of the great players. What he was doing, with that Phoenix Suns team. A lot of people made their name playing with Steve Nash. Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Quinn Richardson, Joe Johnson, Leandro Barbosa. You never even remember some of these guys if it wasn't for them playing with Steve Nash. So we have to respect Steve Nash. But Steve Nash is not greater than Jason Kidd. And all of a sudden now, they keep putting Steve Nash above Jason Kidd. I'm so confused with these lists. It just doesn't add up. There's no evidence to support that.
No, Jason Kidd, absolutely above Steve Nash. Everybody gives LeBron all this shine for this '07 carry job. Well, look at what Jason Kidd was working with in '02 and '03. You're telling me his cast was better? I don't think so. Not at all. He went back to back. And Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki played together for years. Why didn't they make a finals run?
Absolutely, Jay. That's a great point, Jim. And when you talk about some of those guys that were on that New Jersey Nets team, this is not to throw shade at Kenyon Martin or Richard Jefferson or Kerry Kittles or Lucius Harris, but go look at the age of those guys when he took them to the finals. Richard Jefferson was a rookie. Kenyon Martin was a 1-year play. So he was these guys with no experience. Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, these are the guys he was leading.
Let me read the real Siberius before we get too far removed from the context. Self-aggrandizing is weakness seeking validation. Greatness without standards isn't greatness. It's a fallacy and isn't sustainable. LeBron is no GOAT. Yes, sir.
The real Siberius, man, always coming through, man.
Yeah, he's great, man. He really is.
And that's what it is. He said the no standards. There's no standard for LeBron James fans. They don't hold him accountable for nothing. They've lowered the standard. So now all of a sudden, LeBron James number 2 all time. Once again, based off of what?
Jim, did you do your own video about that list, or is there just too much in there to even bother with? Just so much stupidity?
No, I've touched on a few different videos, but I've never actually dove into the whole thing. I just don't even want to give it that much credence.
Yeah,
to be honest
I
with
agree.
You.
I agree.
To just like debunk it or whatever. Just like it to me, it's just so I don't even know where to begin. it's
Right.
right away. As soon as you get to the second player, I'm already like, yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, already your number two is a joke. So where do we go from here? You know what I mean? Like, it just Kobe, Olajuwon. I mean, yeah, Kevin. Like I said, you go and look at all the players. Tim Duncan, he's overvalued. Anybody look at every finals competition that LeBron played against, whoever the best player was, they're overvalued on that list. Every single one of them. Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, Steph Curry. Curry's not top 10, I'm sorry. He's in my top 15, but he's better than there's only 9 players of all time better than Steph Curry. Come on, man. We know better than this. Stupid.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. There's too much. I feel on it. Video was damn near 30 minutes long. And after I finished the video, I was like, I think I forgot to mention a lot of stuff. And I skimmed through 20 to 100. 1 through 20 is what I focused mainly on in my video because there was so much crap to debunk in 1 through 20. It was insane. But if you go from 20 to 100, my God, Draymond Green's a top 100 player in NBA's history. How is that possible, guys?
We all know. We all know.
Yeah,
it's that clutch connection.
They had James Harden over Allen Iverson? Come on, man.
Wow. Yeah,
Wow.
that's that's nuts. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, again, anybody played in his era, his competition, they're obviously overhyping that on purpose. This person, probably about 38, 40 years old. I could just probably pretty much guess how old they are. They all have just disregarded. And look, when I was young, and I'm sure you guys did, you look back on the 50s and 60s and thought, oh, those guys aren't as good as today, and yada yada. But never to the extreme that it is today, where they're just disregard them as they're nothing. And Bill Russell is Bill Russell's nothing more than a token relic of the past. They put him in there because they feel like they have to. It's like, no, put him in there because he deserves it. I got Bill Russell as the second best player of all time. And a lot of people think, oh, you're crazy. And I'm saying, okay, then you don't know about Bill Russell. You look at his field goal percentage and his points per game and think you got it all figured out. That's the problem. Why I even did this video today with the modern era. They just look at stat sheets and think they got it all figured out. They know they don't go back and watch all the games, not highlights, the games. Go back and watch Bill Russell's last 2 minutes of his career and tell me that dude ain't the second best player you ever saw. In a tight game, in a game 7 where they're the underdog, he gets a rebound, a steal, and a block score. But look how he affected that game and cinched that championship in the last 2 minutes of his career. I'm just saying, like, these people know nothing. They don't. They think they do. They act like they do. They get propped up in these positions like they do, but they know nothing about it. And I'm not saying I know everything either. I still got a lot to learn about ABA players in the 50s and whatnot. But man, if you don't give the proper respect to these guys, and you're a joke. And I don't even want to give you any credibility or the time of day with you.
There's another element to that. I didn't have any motivation to go back and look at players from the past in order to find out how bad they were, because I was happy with the present. Like, these guys that are shitting on the past are doing it to try and make up for the fact that the present isn't good, that their king isn't good. I didn't waste any time going back and trying to show people, oh, look how bad these players from the past were. Why? Why would you? Why would you spend your time on that?
Yo, Hoop God's killing me, man.
The Hoop God?
Hey, let's read some supers real quick. Oh, wait, but before I forget, did you guys correlate how quickly that top 100 list came that left Kobe out of the top 10 when LeBron James had just been left out of the top 10 by a couple of people? And it was almost like, oh, quick, come out with something that helps LeBron James out after he got disrespected by, what was that? Who was that? Was that Barkley? And a couple of people left LeBron out of the top 10, and boom, all of a sudden, Bleacher Report just shits out a list overnight and magically leaves out and puts LeBron way up top.
He's not in my top 10. And I did an unbiased criteria ranking. I really tried to take my opinion out of it, and I did. And he didn't make my top 10. But I penalized people that did team hopping. Some of them didn't get as bad. Like I penalized Will Chamberlain because he did force 2 trades, but nothing like LeBron James and what he did. He should be penalized for that stuff. I mean, in other words, why did every star just join other stars then from now on? You're not going to get killed in the media for it. Why wouldn't you just try to win championships with the best players from now on? I don't even know why anybody doesn't do that. I'm serious. Why wouldn't you? It's not going to be held against you. The precedent was already been set. And Kevin Durant, of course, the weakest move ever. But without Golden State, his resume is Charles Barkley's resume. 1 trip to the finals, 1 MVP. Except Barkley at least won multiple games in the finals. Durant didn't even do that without Golden State.
Right.
Wow. Let's catch up. Let's catch up on some supers. Will you read that one on the screen, Robin?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not that serious. Shout out to you for coming through. According to the Basketball Show and Dreamers Pro, Bleacher Report and Clutch are owned by a single company, so they're affiliates. You see, these are the kinds of things we're talking about. No integrity.
Yeah.
You know, guys, when you ever heard someone say this cup doesn't have any integrity, right? So it's a cup, but it's leaking. The cup is leaking. There's water coming out the cup. It has no integrity. That's what these people have. They have no integrity. There's nothing holding the substance in for them. They just talk with opinions and emotions, but they're not supporting their opinion with any facts that you can point out. Like my man Jim is giving you. He's giving you the facts here. These guys will just say, oh, LeBron James right behind Michael Jordan. But then when you ask them to clarify, to break it down, to explain it, they can't say anything. They're just going to tell you he's got 4 championships. He's got 4 MVPs. All right, well, how did he get those MVPs? Get those chips. Right. When you look into the details, he gets exposed. The man got 2 MVPs on his super team. How is that legit? I don't respect any LeBron James championships. I believe all his championships came on super teams that he had to form. Like Jim said, you're forming these teams. So for me, LeBron James has no championships that I respect.
The Jesse Glad Saget says Tim Duncan led a team full of role players to a championship in 2003, and nobody but Spurs fans would talk about it.
Listen, man, when we talk about someone like Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan is one of those guys for me where if you look at his overall career, you look at the time that he played, people forget he came in 1998. Tim Duncan had an impact immediately, but we also can't forget that when Tim Duncan came into the league, he's playing with someone like David Robinson. Now, I'm not saying that David Robinson was at the peak of his powers and all this stuff, but it allowed from a savvy veteran, a great player like Tim Duncan. That makes it a lot easier for someone like Tim Duncan. I often mention someone like Charles Barkley. When Charles Barkley came to the Sixers, he was able to learn from Moses Malone and Dr. J. Those guys were on the team, man. So when he comes to the Sixers, he's not by himself like Michael Jordan was with some of these clowns that Michael Jordan was dealing with. He came to a team with veteran leadership. Remember, Moses Malone who told Charles Barkley, yo, you got to get yourself in shape, dude. This the pros, man.
I'm going to let Hoops God come in because I'm sure, Hoops God, I hope you're listening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet you have something to say about the disrespect that Dr. J received.
Absolutely, because what people don't, shout out to the panel first and foremost. This is what I always ask people in regards to Dr. J, right? I'm like, are we going to omit his career resume? Because to me, I feel like that's doing him a disservice, seeing that he has 4 MVPs, over 30,000 points. I mean, all the rebounds. Like, the guy was incredible. And then I also like the fact that the ABA had a playoff MVP, right? This is where it gets dicey. So if we apply the playoff MVP to the NBA, how many more guys would get awarded that particular MVP for being dominant in the playoffs? Because, yeah, I'm one of the guys that feel like Dr. J does not get his just due, but it's because a lot of people are just lazy. They don't want to just put in the time and the effort to research this guy and get his information.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, Hoops God, I knew you would bring it. By the way, welcome to the show. It's been a while. Everybody say hello to Hoops God.
Yeah. What's up, Hoops God?
Absolutely,
doing,
man.
Yeah, what up, man?
Been busy, guys. Glad to be back.
Busy's good, though, man.
I get it.
Absolutely.
And I asked Hoops God if he wanted to bring a little history lesson to us on the Sunday panel. Did you have anything to talk about in
I,
addition to Dr.
I
J?
absolutely do. So this is to the chat and panel. If y'all want to chime in, by all means. Who is the first and only player to go 50, 40, 90 in an entire playoff run while leading the playoffs in triple doubles? Who would you guys say that done that?
The first would
Yeah,
have to
say
be
that
a
again.
player after 1980 because of the 3-point line.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I would just guess Bird.
I
Okay.
would say Magic,
Okay.
but I
Anybody else?
don't know.
Y'all don't
Say
want to throw y'all don't want to throw Jokic in there?
Oh yeah, okay, I guess Jokic maybe.
So it was Larry Bird, the 1986 playoffs. He was over 50, 40, 90. Actually, it wasn't like he was borderline. Like he was well over the 50, 40, 90 mark. And he was tied with Magic for triple doubles in that playoff run.
I
That's
know he did it
amazing.
for the 1988 season. For you, I think he was the first person to do it in a season. Bird in '88, right? I think that's right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, that was the interesting one because when I was doing my research, I was actually looking up his greatest playoff games, but I stumbled upon that in '86, and I was like, wait a minute, let me make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, Bird Bird was a monster.
Yeah,
Oh
for
yeah,
real.
ain't no doubt.
That's a
Like I
great point
said,
that you brought up. Who got that was great, some great facts that you just
yeah,
brought here, man. Larry Bird is an impressive player. Larry Bird's one of those guys. Like I said, you really appreciate him the more you look into him. And like I said, when you think about some of these great players, and someone like Larry Bird, he's not playing like LeBron James. He didn't have that benefit to just dribble the ball all over the court, hold on to the basketball, dribble, and do all this crazy stuff. When you look at a lot of these guys, it's precision. It's only one or two dribbles. These guys are attacking. They're getting to their spots. This is what they do. LeBron James is always, I mean, a lot of these guys now, they dominate the basketball and they're allowed to put up these stats because they always have the ball in their hand so they can manipulate their
right.
numbers.
And wouldn't you guys consider that being more efficient? That you can get to your spot in one to two, maybe three dribbles max, and then rise up for a shot attempt, a pass, or get fouled and get to the free throw line versus dribbling the ball 8 times at the top of the key and allowing the defense to set up and prepare for your attack. I mean, I don't know. Y'all correct. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. To me, the most efficient way is like keeping the defense off balance, and that's hitting them in one, two, three dribbles. Boom.
Yeah,
And Larry
Yeah.
Bird to me had some really crazy ball fakes. His ball fakes were, I mean, outstanding, man.
you made
No,
me
it
think.
worked. Hey, I'm gonna run, but I wanted to just throw this out here. 1988 is regarded as Michael Jordan's greatest season ever, right? Because he won Defense Player of the Year and MVP, right? Just looking at offense, are you sure that Michael Jordan had a better season than Larry Bird do?
No,
Larry Bird?
Bird.
You
Yeah,
go
no,
back and look at
Bird
88,
went. Yeah, he
and
went 50,
I don't
40,
know that
90.
Jordan's season was better than Larry Bird's offensively, not overall. Obviously, Jordan was better overall, but
Yeah,
offensively, Larry Bird had one of the best seasons I've ever seen in 1988.
yeah, I agree. Didn't he
He
average
still can't
30?
sniff Michael Jordan 88. Jim, are you kidding me? Michael Jordan
Just
was out there
offense.
carrying the Bulls offensively.
Just offense, not defense. Just offense. I'm telling you, go look it up. Look at his numbers. They were through the roof, man.
Well,
Yeah,
listen, man. If Michael Jordan had the luxury of playing with someone like Kevin McHale down, having that kind of presence down there, once again, that would help Michael Jordan out immensely. And I'm
It
not taking
would.
away from Larry Bird, man, like I said at all. But these are things we have to think about. Michael Jordan, to me, is really the only guy that I've seen that has the burden every year of carrying his team offensively, carrying them every year. I mean, Kevin McHale dropped 50-something points a game or 50 points in a game, and then Larry Bird tried to topple because that was the highest points in a game for a Celtics player up until that point. So we have to remember and respect like Kevin McHale, the man with 1,000 moves.
hey, AOH. Shout out to Uncut Hoops. Read his comment because he's absolutely right. He's did some precise Larry Bird like research on his channel as well.
Okay, let me find that. Hey, Jim,
Yo,
thank you.
Uncut Hoops in the chat.
Jim, have
Yeah,
a great day. Thanks for
you
coming
guys
in.
have a good Sunday, and I'll see you next week if you're having one.
Absolutely.
Yo, Jim,
All right.
thanks, man. Jim's the man.
You know, you made me think about some of LeBron's foolishness on his Mind the Game. Hoops God with the efficiency. Like he actually tried to talk about being efficient when the guy is extremely inefficient, and he does exactly what you said, slows it down to where the defense has a chance to set up. But he also talked about the process, talked about respecting the process when all this guy does is mercenary hop.
Hey,
Yep.
so AOH, I'm gonna tell you where that came from. This was back during, I want to say it was LeBron's 2017 or 18 playoff run, but James Harden was doing the same thing. And just to summarize it up, Kobe and T Mac were being interviewed by Rachel Nichols, and they were saying that James Harden's style of play is horrible. Like Kobe basically said, no, I don't think that style will ever win championships. It's remarkable what he's doing because of the stats. However, if you're always at the top of the key, the defense is always in front of you so they can see you versus a player like who? Steph Curry, who's always moving, cutting, keeping the defense off balance, and he's always drawing two or three defenders. That helps your team. But if you're always at the top of the key, pounding the air out of the basketball, how are you affecting the defense? Because they're waiting on you. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. He ain't talking about just James Harden. He's talking about somebody else. That's who they were. They were really taking the direct shot at what Kobe said back then. Like these jokers think they slick, but they not, man. It's sad what they doing.
Well said, sir.
Yup. You know what I talked about the other day? I talked about the comments in the 2013 All-Star game by LeBron James. And I talked about how he once again tried to play the value of championships and how that's really what the great players are striving for. It's not necessarily the amount of rings that you accumulate in your career, but it's how you go about these things, right? And for someone like LeBron James, he started talking about the comments by Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan said that 5 beats 1, because at that time LeBron James had 1 championship, Kobe Bryant had 5, and he said 5 beats 1, right? And LeBron James went on with the A all B, right? He's like, oh well, championships are not the only thing that define a player's career, and absolutely, because no one's ever said the championships are the A all B all, but LeBron James likes to make that claim, that assessment. But what really bothered me about LeBron James, what really exposed him during those comments, is when he brought up Robert Horry. Like, dude, you brought up Robert Horry 7 rings when we're talking about Michael Jordan. Like, just stop it. There's no one in the world who's going to think, oh, Robert Horry got 7 rings. He must be greater than Michael Jordan. Because, that, once again, that's an conversation. The rings are the only thing that matters. No one's ever going to make that claim. But LeBron James wanted to bring up Robert Horry.
Well, no. So sports and fitness. See what he's doing. He's trying to make an apples to oranges comparison to fool the imbeciles out there. And I hope AOH channel doesn't get flagged for that. But when you make that argument, right, simple-minded people will fall for that. Oh yeah, Robert Horry. Okay, first and foremost, Robert Horry, shout out to him, all-time great. What has he ever done to the game in an entire fourth quarter? Absolutely nothing. Has he hit timely shots? Yes, he has. Has anybody ever said, hey, Robert, we need you to go close the game? So he knows what he's doing when he make that asinine statement. The problem is this. You went to Miami and you said 8 championships. You only delivered 4. So where are the other 4 at? See, we don't want to hear that now. We don't want to hear ring culture, blah, 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 blah. Because if we're going to say ring culture, Jim Kelly should be right behind Tom Brady. I don't want to hear nothing else about ring culture. No, Jim Kelly should be the greatest quarterback of all time. Tom Brady.
For real, Hoop God, man, you run the money as usual with this stuff, man. Like I said, it's really sad that they try to downplay the championships, because a lot of us know if the LeBron James fans, if LeBron James himself, it was the other way around, and he was 6-0 in the finals, and he had 2 3-peats, this is all you would hear from LeBron James fans. That's all they would say. Yo, 6-0, 2 3-peats. Man, you can't touch him, LeBron James. But they can't make that argument.
I mean, this is my thing, right? If you've played for 22 years, I would at least expect you to get 1 3-peat. I mean, if you've been to the finals this many times, 1 3-peat, Kobe did it, MJ did it. I mean, they like to shit on Bill Russell, but I don't care. I'm gonna give him his props. He done it. 1 3-peat.
Word. Exactly. And like you said, Hoop God, not only he said he was going to win all these championships in a row, essentially. So you went out your mouth, right? You talk the talk, but you couldn't walk the walk. He wrote a check that his body couldn't cash, man. But this has been LeBron his entire career. He loves to do as I, say as I do as I do, but not as do as I say, but not as I do.
So AOH, tell me how do you feel about Gilbert Arenas, Channing Frye, and all of these other I would say unclutched sports stooges. They spent all this time and energy trying to essentially attack Michael, only for Bleacher Report to still put him number two, which he don't even deserve that. But how do you feel about that? Because I find it quite hilarious. Like all these other little independent sites on Facebook, like trying to tear down MJ's competition. And now I just really got to go troll them and say, wait a minute, you telling me you put all this energy and effort into trying to foster a narrative, and LeBron is still number two in 2025?
I say, I mean, those guys consistently have weak. They usually sound like the type of person that you wouldn't want to raise your children. The child would never turn into a man. Have any idea about accountability. And I would also encourage people to just go start your own website, publish it, name it something. Mine's going to be called In the Stands to compete with Bleacher Report and come up with your own lists, because that's how worthless these lists have become. Everyone just go put out your own fucking shit.
Well, I always say this, AOH, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody has the clout to decide who the top guys are, it would be the coaches, it would be the teammates, and ultimately the contemporaries and the opponents that they played against. Because when I hear like Tony Allen speak, when I hear like Trevor Ariza, Ron Artest, Bruce Bowen, like all these guys who either guarded all three or just LeBron and Kobe, I get a general consensus that it's MJ, it's Kobe Bryant, and LeBron is great, but LeBron lacks this or LeBron lacks that. I don't hear them saying that about MJ or Kobe. So that's what I'm trying to understand. If I was going to take an educated guess, or if I was going to listen to somebody, I would rather listen to the guys who got experience, versus the guys who just want to, push a narrative that they're being paid by. Like Dan Levitz did so eloquently. There's a lot of money in being wrong. And I hope you're getting some of it if you're going to be wrong.
Hoops God, if we do a fundraiser, can we get you a better connection?
Well, I'm just in a bad spot right now. I'm leaving my family function, but no, I'll be better at home. I can just do it live. I can connect straight to my Wi-Fi router.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate that you made the effort to pop in, and I always like your historical perspective that you bring.
Absolutely. AOH, I'm gonna send you some more info too, man, in the email. I'm gonna send it to YouTube Sports Opinions. I'm gonna log out of here and get back on this road, man. Y'all have a great day.
Yo,
Thanks,
Hoop
man.
God,
Have
be
a good
good,
one.
man. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Let me catch up with some super chats. That was Hoops God, and before that we had self-researched NBA facts. Jim has a lot of good videos on self-researched NBA facts YouTube channel.
Yep.
The Real Siberius with another super. Really appreciate it, sir. They have to tear down Jordan's competition and built up LeBum to prop them up. Without dismantling Jordan, LeBron can't be great on his own merit. Exactly.
Yeah. That's the truth right there. Like I said, the tear down to lift up tactics that have been going on. I mean, essentially, since LeBron James won that championship in Cleveland, they've been attempting to just tear down the past players to lift these guys. I always, how great can the guys be today? How great are they really if the guys before them were not great? It just doesn't make any sense, man. Like I said, the game evolved. There was an evolution from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s into the 2000s. And all of a sudden, when LeBron James came in and the 2010 guys started to take over and come into their own, the game completely stopped evolving. It just stopped. And all of a sudden, their standard got lowered. They were allowed to carry more often, to travel, and it just got egregiously worse as the 2010s went on to where we are now. I mean, it's just not even the same standard at all, guys. But why once they lift or tear the guys down for previous eras to lift these guys up? Like you said, how come they can't stand on their own merits?
Philosopher Stoned says LeBron shot 41% in the 06-07 playoffs. I don't actually think it was that. I'm not calling you a liar, but I don't feel like it was even that good.
Yeah, I mean, I know he shot like 35% in the finals that year, so I would definitely imagine that his percentage was somewhere around the low 40s. Because let's not make any mistakes about it. LeBron James is the kind of guy where he stat pads and looks like a superhero against the mediocre and bad teams. But as the competition got stiffer in those early years of LeBron James, with this, super teams helping him out, LeBron James struggled against the competition, right? And then they would make excuses for his failures.
Jolly Joshams brings up one of your favorite people, Kenny Smith.
Goddamn Kenny Smith.
Did you?
Kenny Smith.
Thank you, Jolly Joshams, for the generous super. Did you see Kenny Smith comparing players today to the Globetrotters? They have all these moves, but can't hit a 1-2 pull-up. Okay, so Kenny Smith is making some sense again. Also claimed Nick Van Exel would be a max contract player in today's league. Well, geez, just about everybody's a max contract player now, it seems like. So maybe, I don't know, what do you think, Robin?
I mean, shout out to Nick Van Exel, someone who doesn't get mentioned much. Nick the Quick had a really nice game when he played, had some real nice flash and some pizzazz to his game. The one thing that we have to remember is a lot of those guys, they were held to a standard. We mentioned this when the Will Chamberlain archive came on a couple of lives ago, and we talked about how the game was officiated back in the 60s. Those gentlemen were held to a much higher standard. It's just the way it was. So when we think about the overall game and we think about some of the guys like Nick Van Exel, when he played, he was playing in a league that was held to a higher standard. So the dribbling skills of Nick Van Exel, what he was able to do shooting the ball wise, he did in a much tougher era.
There's the uncut comment. 86 Bird did everything in under 2 dribbles. Yeah, and I saw somebody else shouting out Bird's tap passing.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Uncle Hoops because he did that video on Larry Bird of the 1986. I mean, he broke it down. He went to details, and he broke it down, I think, by like the where Larry Bird was shooting from or how often he dribbled. So like he mentioned, he only needs a couple of dribbles. See, that's the difference to me between what someone like Michael Jordan could do and what some of these other guys have to do to try to score. They need to take all these dribbles. They need 4,000 screens. They need all of this stuff, man, to get to the rim, to become effective. They have to be able to take that 2 or 3 extra steps. They can't do this stuff being officiated under the standards that were officiated back in the day.
Amen. Just a messenger. Hey, well, from 84 to 85 and 87 to 88, Bird was 50, 40, 90, overall averaging 28, 10, 7.
Crazy.
He was 7 field goals made and 11 free throws made from having 4 straight 50, 40, 90 seasons. Wow. And they put Kevin Durant over this guy, huh?
And you know what's interesting about Larry Bird, what Justin Messenger is saying right there, when you talk about the 50-90 season, let's be very clear here. Larry Bird was not chasing stats. Larry Bird didn't even know he was doing this stuff. No one promoted this. I don't remember anyone ever talking about this stuff when I was growing up. Larry Bird was doing this in the course of winning championships and winning games. That's what makes what these guys did so much greater. They were just doing this in the course of playing the game that they played.
Jessica McKenzie says, hi, shout out to OH. Thank you for your last video you made about the drafts. It was so informative and well-researched. Great video and keep up the great content. Much respect. Hey, so Jessica's one of the handful of people that watched it. Thank you.
Yo, shout out to Jessica McKenzie. I don't know if this is your first time ever, sending a super during the live or catching one of our lives. So thank you very much to Jessica McKenzie coming through with the super and, like I said, contributing to the live. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you for shouting out the video. I do think it has a lot of information that people should go and ingest if you're interested. I have it highlighted on my channel, so it should be easy to find. And
Right.
here's McZuggins. LeBron destroyed the team concept we're talking about, then blames the lack of team for failure It's a trickle down empowerment. Can show y'all. Let me know. Show you all. Let me know.
Yeah, word. Shout out to McZuggins again, man. Always coming through and always got something good to say. That's what it is. Team concept. I talked about in the video I did the other day, and I referenced, me and my wife, which I often do sometimes on my videos. I give you guys personal, stories and little anecdotes, and I try to teach you guys about life, as I see it and things that I've learned in my life. And I've always talked about, I just bought this house, right, not that long ago. So I'm doing a lot of DIY things at this house, man. I owned a home before, so this is actually fun for me, watching some of these YouTube videos and attempting to fix things and do things. So I remember there was a certain scenario. I was outside and I was doing all this work, man, and I was out there for hours, man, hours. And my wife, she wasn't really doing anything per se, but after I finished what I was doing, I said to my wife, hey, babe, man, we finally did it. We are done. And my wife looked at me and she started laughing and she said, babe, you're really cute. I didn't do a damn thing, but you always say we when you talk about this stuff. Because that's just how I let me and my wife as a team. LeBron James doesn't understand this. So everything is everything is me. What did I do? I did this. That one made me the greatest of all time. I'm averaging a triple-double. I could guard 1 through 5. I could lead the league in scoring every year if I want to. It's always about him.
One way or another, he makes it about himself, and he even finds a way to praise himself about shit that no one even brought up. It's really embarrassing.
It is. Yo, shout out to Jordan versus LeBron. I see my man Jordan versus LeBron in the comments. I think he sent a super in here.
Okay, make sure I get to it. It should be lower down on the list. By the way, Jordan versus LeBron put together a compilation of a lot of the old videos from LeBron's early failures that I've actually been wanting to do videos on. You would have made it really convenient for me to pull from that if you hadn't had the background music. But it's all right. I'll go out and I'll go download all of them. I've downloaded about half of them. There's so much material. Let me tell you, it just shows you how the standards changed once the league realized LeBron was never going to be that guy. Like, they actually criticized LeBron fairly back then and then had to just change. Like some of the things that Stephen A. Smith said about LeBron James back then, you can't have LeBron James as your number 2, no matter what he did in the rest of his career, if you actually meant anything that you said.
Right, exactly, LH. And yeah, shout out to my man Jordan versus LeBron, because he always, like I say, he always bringing the receipts in these videos, man. You guys are doing a great job here. Like I said, man, the true basketball fans continue to stand up and push back against this nonsense. We're not going to take this crap line down, man, anymore, because they're not giving facts. They're not educating the people out there.
The real Siberius, thanks, man. Just keeps on super chatting. You can't be a benchmark for others to live up to when you have failed to live up to the benchmarks set before you. I could read that sentence all day long, hoping that a fanboy will be able to make sense of it. Context matters always. Thank you, Real Siberius. Great comment, as usual.
Yep, that's the facts, man. James fans, they don't have context. They don't live in reality. And the sad thing, too, is a lot of these ex-NBA players that we hear now in these podcasts, they're not giving you context either. These guys are just out here being emotional, just giving you some weird statements. And like I said, my man Jordan versus LeBron always mentions how he doesn't really believe that a lot of these guys make the money that they made. And it's really sad how these guys seem to be, looking for money. At this point in time of their careers, they're not playing basketball anymore, and they've sold those just for some money. It's like I said, it's really sad. Like they had Draymond Green over Artis Gilmore. Like, come on, man. I mean, I don't want to keep going back to this stuff, but it just doesn't make any sense. That's not educating anybody out there, man. All these ABA players, all the great ABA players that came over to the NBA, these guys are completely disrespected, and people are not realizing what the ABA meant. I did a video on the ABA. It was a subscriber requested video, and I looked into it. I did my homework. I did the research, and I looked into a lot of this stuff. And I told you guys, during the last 3 seasons of the ABA, right, the ABA dominated the NBA. They had head-to-head scrimmages, exhibition games. And the ABA players were destroying the NBA. And let's not forget, someone like Dr. J. Once again, shout out to Dr. J and what he did. Dr. J is so big in the ABA. The ABA was becoming a more popular league. Why? Because of the flash, the pizzazz, the way these guys played the game. The NBA wanted Dr. J. That was one of the major reasons why they had the merger, because Dr. J was the biggest star in both leagues.
There's the Jordan versus LeBron super that you were talking about. Thank you for the super. And so he mentioned his video, and it's the same video I'm talking about. Hey, there's a bit in there in which LeBron talks about meeting Jordan for the first time, and he uses other people's line about the aura. I'm like, can this guy say anything original? It's just amazing how many clips there are of him not having his own thoughts. He's one of the fakest people in existence. But yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. He's not original on the basketball court. His game is basic, boring, is bland. And like you said, when he speaks on the microphone, he never has an original thought. Nothing ever sounds like authentic from him. That's one of the things that I remember listening to. I can't remember the guy's name. It was like, he was like an editor, a book writer from back in the day. And he talked about how authentic Michael Jordan was. And he talked about Michael Jordan. And he talked about, like, he talked about, like, what it meant to America. And what he meant, because he was authentic. He was like a real American hero. He made an analogy. He said, if anyone from another country ever came up to me and asked me, hey, what should I do when I'm in your country of America? You're a foreign person. You've never been to America. He said, this is what I would tell them. He says, I would tell them to go to the Grand Canyon and take a trip down the Grand Canyon. Check it out, the Grand Canyon. And he said, I would tell them to see Michael Jordan. This is what he said he would tell someone who's never been to America before back in them days in the 90s. You have to go see Michael Jordan because he is who we are. That's what he said. He is who we are. He's authentic. He's an American hero.
Cameron Peterson says LeBron is a DEI goat. Didn't earn it. Amen. I agree. The easy way out. The rely on other people. And Liban with the super chat says in 2018, Bleacher Report voted Kobe the player of the decade in the 2000s, but now he's number 11. Yeah, makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Shout out to Liban coming through. A lot of us are confused how these guys get dropped down the rankings when they're not even playing, and there's no one that, like, you would surpass them, but somehow they move these guys down. It really doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't add up. They put Shaquille O'Neal above Kobe Bryant. They put Shaq at 6, Kobe Bryant at 11, and they knocked Kobe for playing with Shaquille O'Neal, but they had Magic Johnson I think, at 4th, and Kareem at 3rd. So Kareem and Magic don't get penalized for playing with each other, but Kobe Bryant's always penalized for playing with Shaquille O'Neal. It just doesn't add up. Like I said, they're contradicting themselves.
Yeah. Well, we had a pretty good live today. I don't think we have to go too long. Robin, you and I are back Wednesday at 9 a.m. for the Hump Day Rant.
I'm on vacation still, LH.
Next week too?
I'm leaving Thursday morning. Thursday morning, I'm going back to New York. I'm going back home, so I'll be on my regular schedule. So I would say At least if we did a Friday live on Friday, I could do the Friday live at the regular 9 a.m., 12 p.m. my time. If we do a live on Wednesday, then yes, it would have to be at the 3 p.m. time for me. I think that's 12 for you. If that's okay with you, AOH, we'll have to work out the details behind the scenes, if anything.
Yeah, man. We know that you're making it work while you're on vacation. Here I am in my little virtual world trying to do this one, so it's all good. All right, Wednesday.
Yeah, and like I said, man, It means a lot. Like the reason that me and AOH, we enjoy doing these lives, not only do we like to, do these lives and interact with each other, I have a great rapport with AOH, man. Like I said, I really like doing these lives with you, AOH. It's a good time. But I really appreciate all the support from you guys out there in the chat, man. You guys make us want to come back and give this kind of effort. It's similar to what we talked about the guys growing up that we watched playing sports, right? They came for the fans. They came because people were going to be there supporting them. So they came out there and they gave the effort. They wanted to show up. So for me, even though I'm on vacation, like I said, it's worth it, man, because like I said, you guys show up for us. So I'm going to show up for you guys, man, and give the effort and try to give you guys a little bit of history, a little bit of education, a little bit of laughs, a little bit of break in your daytime, man. You know what I'm saying? It's Sunday, for a lot of us, obviously out there, sometimes it's the morning, it's the afternoon, whatever it is, man. So thank you to all you guys, like I said, to continue to come through and support because it really means a lot and it keeps us wanting to keep coming back and doing these things.
Absolutely. And shout out to our special guest today, Hoops God and self-researched NBA Facts. Real Siberius is buying some advertising. It's all right. You can do that. Please check out my channel. I know I now have 10 videos up and think people would enjoy them. Channel is at The Real Siberius. Thank you, panel, and sorry for the ad. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm done.
No, I just wanted to say, for someone like The Real Siberius, and a lot of you guys out there that are maybe on the fence about creating your own channels or making your own videos, don't go on the fence. Get off the fence and make it. Do your channel. Start it up. Make the videos. Put out whatever information that you have, whatever it is. A lot of us know things about different topics. Maybe it's not just necessarily basketball or sports. Maybe you know other things. Like I said, I've learned a lot just doing home improvement stuff from people that's what they do on YouTube. They put out home improvement videos about whatever the topics are. So if you feel you have some knowledge that would be useful to people, I told you guys I do fitness stuff on my channel. The reason why I started doing this is because I thought maybe I had some knowledge or some information that maybe some people could benefit from. And by all accounts, you guys have benefited from that. But I'm thinking that me and AOH, maybe one of these lives, maybe next Friday live, I don't know, maybe we can try to get a couple of you guys to come join the panel. And like I said, let us know what you guys are doing on your end.
And Jolly Joshams with one more super says, enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Absolutely.
And we will be back Wednesday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And probably do a Friday, and then Sunday we'll be back to the normal time. But thank you everyone for tuning in and for the support. Thanks as always, Sports and Fitness Rants.
Yeah, you guys know the deal, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one.